right, if everyone can grab a seat. There's still a few left in the front row. Can everyone hear me in the back? Good. Is there anyone outside that we need to drag in? Okay. They don't worry then. All right, well, I want to thank you all for being here today. This is the fall meeting of CMERA. We have these twice a year. If you have not registered, please do so. There's people there at the table when you come in. And if when you stop and register, even if you just check to see that everything's no changes in your address or information like that, then you still get a raffle ticket, and we'll be raffling off two $25 Kroger certificates at the end of the meeting. Yes, I said at the end. So. All right, also we do have a notary available today if anyone wants to have a document notarized for some reason. We have that service available just in case, so just to let you know. All right, the agenda is similar to what we've had in the last 30 years. We will start with a call to order. The officers will make their reports. That will be followed by a speaker. We do have a guest speaker today from the Cincinnati Retirement System. That'll be followed by questions and answers, and then we will adjourn. We do appreciate if you can hold off most of your questions until the end. That way we can try to get through the presentations as quickly as possible. So to begin the meeting, if you can rise and we'll stand for the pledge of allegiance to the flag. The flagpole broke, but it's still old glory. Now it's older glory. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Also, if you want to take a moment, we will take just a moment here to remember those members who are no longer present. So. All right, thank you. Moving on, Tim. Okay, the moment's over. All right, basically I just wanted to, as usual, we kind of go over what CMERA, what is defined, what do we do. But, and you can read that above my head, the things that we normally focus on. But I want to just point out that basically CMERA is here for you. We try to look after your well-being the best we can. We are a volunteer organization, so it's not like we have full-time staffers doing all types of research and so forth. But we do try to make sure that we get information out to you as best we can and so forth. CMERA itself is governed by a governing board. Go ahead, Tim. There's officers who are elected. Myself, I guess I should have introduced myself. If you don't know me, I'm Chuck Cullen, the president. Kathy Ratz is the vice president. Steve Dietrich is our treasurer. Jane Kettlehack is secretary. We have Tom Gamble who's appointed, and Sergeant of Arm couldn't be here today because we don't have one at the moment. So. All right, we also have, moving along, we have some directors who assist us and some associate directors. The directors are John Hines and Mark Jones. Associate Directors, Michelle Burns, Andy Groot, Barb Blackston, and Barry Molman. I don't know if any of them are there here today and so forth, but. And of course, we rely on volunteers. Don Hutchins does a lot of work keeping track of the records, so forth. Don's up there, and he's got one of the reserve seats up there, so because he's a special person. We also, Mary Foote was in here, but she volunteers for doing the notary service, so we thank her for that. We also have the volunteers who are working at the front desk this morning. We appreciate their help coming in and signing people up and giving out the raffle tickets. And we also ask sometimes, I want to take this opportunity to thank some of the people who, when we have a meeting, budget meeting that may affect our pensions or benefits, and we ask people to either to write to council members or to appear at City Hall. We appreciate those who do show up and or write to their council members in support of our goals, basically our pensions. So let's move on with my report. I just want to focus on some things. We'll begin with some of the things that we've been working on this year. First of all and foremost is monitoring the Collaborative Settlement Agreement, the CSA. Tom here has been working on the Collaborative Settlement Agreement since he was a teenager, I think. It seems that way, but he's been working on this thing and wrestling with it for most of his adult life, I believe. And I'm sure when that thing is, if it ever gets settled, he will be one happy person. So we met with the CRS director this year. We did previously. And so we have a sit down, members of the executive committee sit down with the director, and we kind of talk about some of the concerns that we know about that our pensioners have. And he relays some information to us, so forth, about what may be coming up concerning the retirement system. We, as I said, I spoke before the council's budget committee this year when they were considering how much money they should put towards the pension fund. There is progress. For many years they were only contributing a minimum amount of 16.25%. Next year, that is scheduled, has been approved for 18.5%, so that's higher. And they projected even an increase of 0.75% after that. So we're keeping an eye on that to make sure the council carries out what they said they would do. The other thing we're doing is trying to increase our membership. You may have noticed that the retirement system was kind enough to put a bulletin or a little announcement or information about CMERA in their newsletter a few months ago, and we appreciate their efforts on that, trying to increase our membership. Does it help? Yeah, every new member helps, but as you know, we're still losing members, and mainly because unfortunately for some reason people get old. We haven't figured that one out yet, but we're going to have a committee to work on that to figure out how to stop that. So the postage rate may not sound very important, but it is, because we've been approved now to be a nonprofit organization, so our mailing rate will be going down next year. The other thing we've been working on this year is updating our content to our website, which needs some attention. But we want to start with the content. Moving on to next year, again, we're going to keep monitoring the Collaborative Settlement Agreement because that's important, very important. So we have to make sure the council is doing what the agreement says. We also want to, again, keep striving to increase our membership. We'll try a few more things this year to try to get new membership, so forth. Another thing that's important, we want to increase the leadership. As you know, as I mentioned, the sergeant at arms position is vacant right now. Our treasurer, Steve, will be departing the office at the end of the year, so we need to find a replacement for Steve as treasurer. The other thing we're doing is refreshing our website. And I'm just going to slide. If you've been to our website recently, it's a tree thing. People find it difficult to find something. You want to find out when the next meeting is, or where this is, and so forth, or how to find this information. It's not the easiest thing to do. So we're working on a new layout that will look something like this, where if you want to find out about the Kroger Rewards program, there'll be a box, you click on it, it'll lead you directly to the information. You want to find out about the next meeting, there'll be a box for that, you click on that, it goes out. You don't have to hunt and try to figure out what's going on with the information that you're looking for. And finally, I just mentioned about leadership. We are looking for a treasurer. We want to be effective as we possibly can, and we need people to fill those roles. These are volunteer jobs. These are not full-time positions. We all want to enjoy our retirement. But we also enjoy giving back to the community and to the many people we've worked with for many years when we were with the city. So we look forward to, if you don't have a chance, think about participating a little bit more in the CMERA organization if you possibly can spare some time. I think that's all for me. I want to go up and introduce Kathy Ratz, our treasurer, our vice president. And have her you make it? All right. All right. Thank you, Kathy.
Good morning. Like Chuck said, my name is Kathy Rotz. I am the vice president, not treasurer, of the CMERA organization. And I'm happy to see everybody here today. Thanks for coming. I have a couple things to cover today, and just a quick overview. First of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about issues related to our health insurance. Braden is here from the retirement department to talk about the same thing. We may or may not overlap in what we actually say, but I'm not here to steal your thunder. Just gonna talk about a couple things that have come up recently that we've become aware of. And then elections is the other thing I'm gonna talk about. So first of all, on healthcare, medical officers, so what to do. Next slide. So by that I'm talking about two different things here. First of all, the Medicare insurance. If you're like me, you've already got a mailbox full of offers for Medicare Advantage plans. This is the time of the year for open enrollment for Medicare Advantage, and it actually goes on through the end of the year. So you can expect to get solicitations from all over the place. You'll see commercials on TV. You can select one of those plans. If you do, you cannot stay on the city retirement healthcare plan. You can't have two Medicare plans at once. So it's fine, if you find a plan that you like better or you think it's going to work better, then you can replace your city plan with that. But just know that you can't have both, and if you do sign up for that, you cannot get back onto the city plan until the next open enrollment. So that would be the following year, 2027. With this, you need to be sure to compare the plans. So a lot of these offers that you see have, no premiums, and you even get money back every month, and all kinds of benefits that are sort of extraordinary or seem extraordinary. You have to look at the cost of that, because nobody's in it to give stuff away. Everybody's in it to, make money. So, maybe you have a benefit, a cash back payment every month, but maybe you have a network of, very limited number of doctors or providers to use. So you really have to look at the plans, what they offer, what they cost, and, compare it to what we have already. And my own editorial comment is that we have a very good plan at a very good price. And so that's just my opinion. The other item is the medical services, and by this has come up recently in our discussion forum or our chat room, where people are getting calls, letters from companies that want to come to your house or maybe do a virtual meeting with you to talk about your health, to maybe measure your blood pressure, to counsel you on whatever your health, whatever. Why would they do this? Well, they want to do this to, preventive care kind of stuff. There's some other, theories that there are other more dubious reasons for doing it, but we'll just go with, the altruistic, they're trying to enhance your preventive care. A lot of times they will offer things like equipment, blood pressure cuff, for example, or maybe a Cologuard test or whatever. There was at least one company offering Kroger gift cards if you accept a visit and let them check your blood pressure at your house. I guess the message that we have, CMERA has for you, is just if you're comfortable with these services, feel free to accept them. You're under no obligation, though. My own note is that it's not, what the care that they deliver or the services they deliver are not necessarily coordinated with your providers. And so, for example, with the Cologuard, I myself got one of those kits in the mail like 2 weeks after I had a colonoscopy. So, sometimes it just doesn't add up. But again, the services, you can accept them if you're comfortable with them. If you're not comfortable with them, and many people are not comfortable with having people they don't know come to their house and let them in the front door, you do not have to accept it. You can hang up, you can say, put me on your do not call list, you can just refuse to participate. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is elections. I'm going to talk about a few different types. We have local elections coming up November 4th. Obviously what's on your ballot depends on where you live. So if you live in the city of Cincinnati like I do, you have the mayor, city council, for which there are 28 candidates, 1 judge, 2 charter amendments, 4 members of the Cincinnati School Board, 2 levy renewals, the schools and the county parks. So all this stuff is pretty important. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that affects both services that you get and taxes that you pay. How do you know who to vote for? With 28 council candidates, for example, it's pretty daunting. Do you vote by name recognition, such as you don't recognize the name, you'll go ahead and vote for them? Sometimes people do that. And I didn't put it on the slide, but the League of Women Voters has a whole lot of information about the candidates. They send candidates a questionnaire. Everybody gets the same questions to answer about their backgrounds and their positions and what they think priorities should be. There are paper copies of that you can get at the library. Thanks, Marzetta. But also they have a website, Vote 411, vote the numbers 411.org. And with that, you can put in your address, and then they can show you your ballot, or you will see your ballot, and then you can click on candidates and find out information about them. So you don't just go into the voting booth blank. You can have some idea of what you're actually voting for. Next election is trustees. So we talked about this last meeting, and I just want to mention it again today. The election for the retirement board trustee, there will be a vacancy next summer, and that vacancy happens to be my seat on the board. I'm termed out, so I'm not eligible to run again unless I sit out for a term. So we obviously need a candidate to fill this position. Retirees have 3 representatives on the Board of Trustees. We want to make sure that all 3 seats are filled. So again, want to plant this in your mind. Think about if you might like to serve as a trustee. I'm happy to talk to anybody. I've already got a phone number for somebody that's interested in chatting. So happy to talk to anybody who might be interested in that. Next slide. Okay, so finally, CMERA elections, and guess what? That's today. So I guess my statement at first is, well, why CMERA? Why do we, what's CMERA done for me? Why should we bother to keep CMERA going? Well, CMERA was there when, 10, 12, 15 years ago, our health insurance was on the chopping block. Coverage for dependents has been questioned. The annual COLA was to be either eliminated or strictly, pretty strictly limited. And our pensions were going to be reduced. So CMERA has done a lot of support work to help ensure that the benefits we have today are the benefits that we have today, and not what was on the horizon not all that long ago. Like Chuck said, CMERA is here to represent the interests of retirees, and we can do that, but we can't do that if nobody volunteers to help keep the organization going. Our membership numbers have declined. I think Chuck mentioned that too. And again, in the last few years, fewer members have been willing to serve as officers. It's not something, just as an officer for the last, 8 or so years, I can tell you that it's not something that's all consuming or overly time consuming. It is very rewarding. It's especially rewarding to get to know people that I otherwise wouldn't get to know. And it's especially rewarding to work with the group of officers towards the betterment of all of us. So if CMERA should not be able to sustain itself, then it would cease to exist. It could dissolve. And again, who's there going to protect our pension and our benefits? So all that said, I urge you to consider to volunteer to serve. So today we actually have two elections for two spots on the CMERA, two officers on the CMERA Executive Committee. One is president, and we'll start with that. So Chuck Cullen is currently the president of CMERA. Chuck has also nominated to serve a second term. Are there any nominations from the floor for president? Last call? Okay. Well, in that case, I will conduct a voice vote then for Chuck Cullen as president of CMERA for the next 2 years. All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, Chuck, congratulations. Thank you. Second one is treasurer. Chuck mentioned that Steve Dietrich, who has served as treasurer off and on for probably, 3 or 4 years? Yeah. Is stepping down. And at this point, I have no nominations before me. And so I ask for nominations from the floor for treasurer beginning in the 2026 term. Are there any nominations? Once again, are there any nominations for treasurer for CMERA? Okay. Well, hearing none, then at this point, the executive committee will go back and consider this and look for solutions to the vacancy that we have for treasurer. Okay, and I think that's all I have today. Thanks very much for your attention. Look forward to questions and answers.
Moved. short. Oh. It's better now, I bet. Ooh. I'll whisper. Well, good morning. And first thing I want to do is thank Tim Kraus, who just came up and saved me. He volunteers for the church and has given up his Saturday morning to run our audiovisual equipment. We use this to record the meeting so we can put it on to the website. Could I have the next slide, please? Okay. I wanted to go over a couple of our expense items for 2025. They're based on the first 9 months of the year. The newsletter, the postage, the insurance, the insurance, and the IT expenses have all been paid, so they're pretty accurate. Meeting expenses may vary slightly, but not too much. As you can see from up there, the newsletter is our biggest expense, but we were able to bring the cost of producing that down a fair amount this year. We've also been working hard to, as Chuck alluded to control our postage expenses. We've changed how we mail the newsletter. Just folding it in half rather than a flat piece of paper has saved us some money. So we've changed how we mail the newsletter, and we've saved about $250 this year doing that. And we just got approval from the post office, as Chuck had mentioned, to mail it under a nonprofit permit, and that should save us some additional funds. So going forward for the spring and fall newsletter in 26, we should even save a few dollars more. We've only had a slight increase in our insurance this year, which we're really happy about. It only went up $50. I wish my house insurance only went up $50. Our meeting expenses went up this year. Most of that was because we rent this church, and they raised the rates a little bit because it's pretty expensive, I bet, to keep a beautiful old building like this up to snuff. Can I have the next slide, please? We're happy to say from this, we are not going to have an increase in dues for 2026, or for 2026. Many members have made donations in addition to paying their dues. This and the Kroger's donations. The Kroger's donations runs over $600 a year. Has been a significant factor in us controlling our costs and keeping our dues at the same. They haven't raised at any time in the last 20 years. So a big thanks to everybody out there who's donated extra money to CMERA with their dues, and a big thanks to the Kroger Company too. CMERA is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, so anything you do donate is possibly tax deductible. Can I have the next slide, please? This is not part of my part of the presentation, but I did want to remind everybody that if you're getting a Social Security check in addition to your pension, the WEP and the government pension offset has been eliminated. So you would have received in the spring a fairly nice lump sum check. No federal taxes came out for that, so that's going to be something you will be having to put on your tax return, and also your monthly Social Security check. If you're not currently having Social Security take out federal taxes for that, the increase that you received on your Social Security check is also, no taxes would have been paid on that. So I think our suggestion is if you've been affected by the WEP or the GPO elimination, check with whoever does your taxes or who is going to do your taxes for 2025 and have them take a look at it. So there are some phone numbers up there for you, and thank you very much. Turn it over to Tom.
What I've been asked to talk about is the CSA and give kind of an update. There's really a lot I can say to the group today because the judges put a gag order on us. But there has been some negotiations between all the parties, and the active plaintiff representatives and the retiree plaintiff representatives have come to some kind of agreement as far as how to fund our pension system. That's been presented to the judge or given to the judge, and we're waiting for the judge to make some movement on that. And we're also waiting for the city to also give their feedback to what was presented. So that's basically where we're at as far as that's concerned. One of the things I would like to ask retirees to do from all classes is to make sure you consider writing a letter or do a presentation down before City Council in the upcoming weeks to talk about the retirement system itself, what it means to you, the pension and the health care in particular, because I think they need to be reminded from time to time that how important it is to you as somebody who's worked for the city for a number of years, giving up, a lot in order to help the city out, and to make sure that they're cognizant of what our needs are. And we can't afford to lose anything, would it be anything as far as the pension side or the healthcare side. I think it's very important for us to do that now, as well as after the election. We'll find out what the results of the election are. We might have some new people coming on board as far as City Council, and send some letters to them as well, let them know, because they have no idea what our pension and retirement system is all about, and you need to tell them so that they at least feel a little bit what we're feeling as far as they need to care about our system. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Brady McMahon, and I work in the Cincinnati Retirement System. And Chuck was kind enough to invite one of us to come present today. And since the material is going to cover healthcare, since I do the healthcare, oversee the healthcare and the pension benefits at the retirement system, I volunteered to come out. I just have some slides here. I'm sorry. I just like to walk around a little bit. I have some slides here I prepared, but if anyone wants to discuss anything that's not on the slides, that's perfectly acceptable. So just either raise your hand, or if you want to wait until after.
You want to use a cordless microphone?
No, it's okay. I'll try to remind myself just to stand over here. So we can move on to the first slide. I intended to have the open enrollment summaries mailed out this week to everyone, and it would have notified you of a few things. The changes to the premiums for next year, but it would also notify you of the Vision Plus plan that we're going to add. We had a positive response from last year's addition to the Dental Plus. So hopefully everyone knows that we have a Dental Basic and a Dental Plus plan. So this year we were tasked with putting out an RFP for Vision Plus. So we're going to have Vision Basic and a Vision Plus, but unfortunately, I was told by printing services yesterday that their mailing machine broke. They didn't tell me until yesterday. I asked to have them mailed out on Tuesday, and everyone here has worked for the city so they can understand some of the frustrations involved. I just asked if there was anything I should be aware of, and I was told that the machine was broken. So I hope they got that fixed yesterday, and those will get mailed out on Monday. We did have a deadline of November 14th to have those open enrollment summaries, the open enrollment forms turned in if you do want to make changes for 2026. But we can always extend that a week if that would help anyone. I don't want to shorten the time frame just because a machine broke down in printing services. So anyhow, if you want to move to the next slide, please, I appreciate it. This is the IMED slide that is going to cover the changes. The next slide actually breaks it down in a chart. I can't really see that there, so I'll look at my own, make sure I don't miss anything. So there's not a whole lot of difference with it. I thought that the Dental Plus plan really offered something worthwhile for the extra premium. The Vision Plus, you are going to pay slightly higher premiums for a richer plan. I don't know if it's going to be worth it for everyone. Everyone's in their own situation, so you have to make that decision for yourself. Another thing that's frustrating me right now too is the lengthy process for this contract to be completed with IMED. So it's with IMED now, and we're waiting to get it back from them. The city did their side, we submitted it to IMED, so their legal team is going to review it to get it back to us. So that's why we don't have anything official to post on our website as far as like a summary of benefits, but the comparison I have on the next slide is supposed to be on the back side of the open enrollment summaries that are supposed to be mailed to you. They should already be at your house, but they'll be there next week, I hope. So with this, I can either read these, or if you want to switch to the next slide, please, you can actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. It was designed to be on the back of the open enrollment summary. I don't know, you can see the frame allowance, you get $100 more a year for frame allowance. Lenses, you get a better deal on that with the standard, and the copay amounts are lower for the plus side. And you can see the monthly rates. So if you do nothing and you keep the vision plan that you have now, it's going to be called Vision Basic. You won't see that terminology, or you shouldn't. But those premiums actually gone down, which is great. So that was one benefit to putting this contract out, is we got the benefits that you're used to now for your vision insurance. Those are actually going to decrease slightly for next year and the year after. I think it's a 2-year rate guarantee, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the good news. And the other rates, they're not too high either. So that's just something for you all to consider. If that's something you want to do. If you want to wait, it's one of those things you could always change year to year. The vision and the dental are the things we see the most changes with from year to year, especially if you want the plus plan for 1 year and then you don't think you're going to use it as much the next year, you can change back to the basic. But that was important what Kathy mentioned too about the, I want to touch upon the Medicare real quick too, because I don't like how those Medicare Advantage companies prey on the Medicare enrolled folks. I don't think it's right. You have to really be careful about handing out your Medicare number or just talking about Medicare in general with these people. It seems like they try to solicit your business, and then before you know it, you're signed up on a different plan. But anyway, I'll go into more about that in a minute. That's just one of those things that really bothers me. When we have pensioners call, they get suckered into something that they weren't aware of. Does anyone have any questions about the division that I can try to answer? Yes. Yes. Yes, they're still all, yes, one per year. Well, your Medicare Advantage card should cover like a routine eye exam. So if you have to have another eye exam medically, you can use that. But that's why the vision insurance is basically more like I view it as like a discount type of insurance where you just get, help paying for frames and lenses. Well, no, they won't cover anything as far as like glasses or frames or anything like that. I was just referring to the actual eye exam, is what. Oh. Correct, but you can also get an eye exam through this as well, but a lot of times you go to the doctor, you do have to be insistent when you go to the doctor's office or the pharmacy or anything, because people will tell you, or the front desk person will tell you which insurance they want, what card they want from you, and you have to, unfortunately, they don't always know which ones. Yes?
If in the dental plus plan, if you go to an out-of-service network, is that gonna be paying more to your dental?
Yeah, that's a good question. So he was talking about the dental insurance, and unfortunately, it seems like more and more dentist offices are becoming out of network. It gives them more control over the fees that they can charge. If they're not contracted in with an insurance company, they can charge more. So then you'd have to pay the difference for whatever Superior Dental Care would not cover. It would be on you if they're out of network. Was that your question?
So it would pay more toward the thing?
Yeah, if you go to a doctor, or I'm sorry, if you go to a dentist that's not in Superior Dental Care's network, they can charge you whatever they want.
Right, does the dental plus option pay more than the basic?
Yes, it does. So the limit is up to $2,500 on the dental plus, and the dental basic is capped at $1,200.
Even
So-
if it's out of network, they're gonna pay more.
So yes, that is the limit amount. They will, yes. But they're only going to pay for each service up to what they're contracted to pay for, so if that makes sense. Because every service they have there's going to be a billing fee that's associated with that type of service, and they're in a contracted amount of what they're going to pay per the contract, the Superior Dental.
So there's the billing plus individual contracts. In other words, if I go in and get a cavity filled under dental basic, and my dentist is out of network, would the amount of fees guaranteed to pay be more out of dental plus, since I'm paying a higher premium, than in dental basic, which I'm paying a lower premium?
There should be a sweeter, I don't have the chart in front of me right now, but there should be a sweeter co-insurance amount. So like instead of paying, you'd be responsible for a little bit less on the dental plus than you would be the dental basic, if that makes sense.
Is there information on your website that explains?
Oh, yes, there is.
Because I'm looking, I'm having a hard time finding.
That's another thing, I don't like the way our website's designed. You have to go to retirees, or is it pensioners, and then retiree healthcare, and you have to drill down, and then you have to scroll all the way down to get the dental and the vision. There is a summary of benefits out there. It should compare the basic and the plus plan for the dental. Yes.
Can you explain the difference in what is paid for the upcoming Vision Plus programs? I use the examples for eyeglasses and use the examples for contact lenses. What's the maximum that the system will pay in both those things? Can you do that?
Yeah, that should be it. That was on the slide there. I don't want to make this short out again. So I will have a more robust comparison as soon as these contracts get finalized, because I didn't want to post anything yet until the contracts were officially done. So this is all taken out of the RFP. Like I said, I hope this gets mailed to you all, and it's also on the website.
For example, if I get eyeglasses, okay, you got lenses and you got the frames. The maximum they'll pay in network is $100, right?
So that's the allowance, yes, up to $100, and it's going to be $150 for the.
Question again.
Oh, good.
I asked to explain the two programs that are going to be presented to us in the for the upcoming year, the cost factors, what's the maximum that's going to be paid for example, for frames and lenses for both programs, as well as for contact lenses for both programs. That's what I asked them to explain.
Yeah, it's up there. I'm not sure everybody can read it. So the contact lenses, this would be in lieu of glasses. So on the basic, it's the same as you have now. So it's up to $100 allowance, and then $150 allowance on the Vision Plus, if that's the option you choose. And then for contact lenses, if folks are interested in those, it's $75 standard copay on the basic, and then the plus, it's going to be a $10 copay.
Okay, so the maximum we're going to get, say we want to get frames and and contact lenses. The maximum we're going to get if we go to the new plan is $150 from the system itself.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And this is going to be around for a little while, so if you don't do it this next year, you'll have the option for 27 and 28 and 29.
And your chart did show the difference in the cost, the premiums and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's the premiums, they're at the bottom of it, and they're kind of
Right.
small, but hopefully when you guys get those letters, you'll be able to see it. It's also on the landing page of our website. I'm not sure how many people visit our website, but it is on the same things on our landing page.
But I do suggest that since you're a little bit later getting it out, to push the deadline
Oh, yeah.
out a little bit too.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
So people have the opportunity, because a lot of retirees travel, not necessarily available to respond right away.
Yeah, this is going to go, we had November 14th written on the actual letter, but more than comfortable pushing it back a whole week, since these are going to probably be delayed by a few days. You know, I wanted this out this week. But yeah, we're flexible with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yes?
Wait. Can't hear you.
I want to go back to the dental issue. Is there somebody that specializes in that I could talk to at the retirement system or someplace? I'm going to give you an example of something that happened to me. I go to an out-of-network doctor, so they paid it flat $69. My husband goes to an out-of-network doctor, dentist, I'm talking dentist, but they paid like $30 to $40 more to his. So I called them and said, well, I don't understand why you paid more for his than for mine. And she said, well, because he's in Group C, and your doctor's not in that. I said, but that's not part of your network. She said, that's correct, but it's still Part C. I said, I don't understand that. So there are different amounts they pay to different doctors that beyond the in-network and out-of-network. So is there somebody that I can talk to that can look into that and explain that to me?
Yeah, certainly, you can call me.
Okay, I'll do that.
When she says Part C, is she thinking that your spouse has dental coverage through Medicare Advantage or something?
No. She said he signed up, I guess each dentist can sign up and they must pay certain amounts to join like Group A or Group B or Group C or Group
Okay.
D. And mine didn't belong to any of those. So, I mean, their in and out of network is very iffy.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard of something like that. So yeah, certainly, if you want to call me next week,
Okay,
give me a few more details and I can look into that to see exactly why that happened.
okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Can you speak so people? Yes, thank you. Now I forgot the question. For the glasses, you have a plastic frame or plastic lens. Will your coverage also include glass lenses?
I have to look at the specifics. I don't think so, but I'll have to find out for you. I don't know the answer to that right now.
Oh, okay. And then the next question, is this cumulative, or if I don't use the benefit in 25, it is not available to me in 26? I start over again?
Yeah, every calendar year, yeah, you'll start over.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hi, I've got a question about the pilot program that's starting in Ohio and some other states where there would be an AI review to determine whether prior authorization should be required for services under Medicare. Can you let us know whether that pertains to our Medicare Advantage program or only for traditional Medicare?
Our representatives from Anthem have not told us anything about that. So I'll have to look into that. That's the first time I'm hearing that too. I don't think that applies. I don't think that will apply to the Medicare PPO that you have.
What I've heard, thanks, Ann. What I've heard on the news is traditional Medicare, but I think it would be good for us to get some clarification about that. WVXU had a piece on the air this week about it.
Okay, yeah, if there was some type of change that was like that, I'm pretty sure they would mention it to us, but yeah, I can check on that.
That would be great. And
Certainly.
can you inform the retiree group in some way?
Yeah, we could try to put a posting on our landing page. I don't know of any better way to do that. but
Well,
let me
could
think
you
about
contact the president, for example?
that. Yeah, I could. That wouldn't be all,
And then the
that wouldn't be all the
president could inform us.
retirees, though. That'd be this group, but yeah, I can certainly let Chuck know.
Thank you.
Do we have any form of hearing aid coverage, either under the general Anthem plan or under, well, we have a vision and dental, so it wouldn't be under either of those.
Well, actually, it would. So the Medicare Advantage, they do have a discount. They don't cover it.
Who does?
So the Medicare Advantage Anthem, there is a discount you can get through there. I don't know the name of the company off the top of my head. But Amplifon, I believe, is the company that you can get a discount from through the vision coverage, actually.
Vision coverage
Yeah,
for
so
hearing?
the vision coverage they actually partner with, so you can get a discount. It's a real small print on their summary of benefits.
Vision coverage and also under the Anthem.
There should be
PPO.
just discounts for those for hearing aids, but they don't cover it per se. Oh, so yeah, there's probably some. I'm sure there's some catches to it.
So just call both the number on the back of both of those cards?
Yeah, it should be. If I don't know if IMED sends everyone out like what they're actually covered or what they actually cover, but we have that name, and I can give that to you.
I have a different question. You said that it will be mailed next week. Now, will it be actually mailed or will it be on email?
No, surveys, it seems like the majority of our retirees still favor paper communication. We can always certainly move to that in the future, but they are individualized open enrollment summaries, so we do still plan to mail out the hard.
My concern is that I will be out of town for almost a month
Oh my goodness, okay.
next week. So I may not receive it in time, and sometime the postage or the mail is not forwarded because it's normal mail. So what happens in that case?
Well, yeah, other pensioners do the same thing. We do have the new rates up for 2026 if you're in the model plan or if you're in a select plan. All the rates are up there, and so
I'm actually looking for the forms. I know the rates will be more, but where can I get the form? Is your form online?
Yes. Yeah, we can mail the forms to folks too if they want, but we try to make them all fillable online so that they can be done that way. And if you're ever submitting anything via email, don't put your entire social security number on it either. You can always just either leave that blank or just do the last four. But yeah, our forms are online. If you want us to email one to you or mail one to you, we can certainly do that.
I requested that, but I haven't received it so far.
Okay.
So should I call again?
Did you talk to Renee, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. She's got a list of people she's going to work with, but it doesn't hurt to call us back, but she told me she had a list of folks that had already requested that she follows up with them during this time.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, don't ever hesitate to call. It's historically always mid-October to mid-November, so just expect this time of year. This delay of the mailing just kind of delayed things for me. But, any more questions? We can take those two. Go to the next slide, please. So this is basically what Kathy talked about earlier. I don't know how much time we need to spend on this or not. If anybody has specific questions about whether the CRS open enrollment dates or the annual open enrollment with Medicare, I know it gets really confusing. Theirs goes on a bit longer. So ours does stop mid-November. Like I said, we will extend that a week or even a few days before Thanksgiving if we need to, based on when these summaries actually get mailed out. I did have a couple calls, though, about which card to present when you go get services. Hopefully everyone knows by now, when you're on Medicare, almost 99% of the time, you just leave that card at home, and your Medicare Advantage card or your CVS SilverScript card are the cards that you need to bring with you. So regardless of what someone says at the doctor's office. Yes?
An exception to that is if you go to get an inoculation sometimes, they will require the original card.
They shouldn't, but I'm telling, yeah, that's what I mean. They can ask you for it. As long as you don't get a bill, I guess it's good, but,
I've only run into that at Kroger, but I've run into
yeah, they shouldn't do that, but, yeah, the Medicare Advantage should cover most of your vaccines, and then the Part D does cover a couple, but, it shouldn't be your original Medicare card. No, they don't. And I said earlier, like, to emphasize what Kathy was talking about, that just protect your Medicare number. I always say kind of protect it like it's your credit card number. You don't want to just give that out to anyone. So if these companies call, they can even be other, this is really frustrating too, other like subsidiaries or branches within Anthem can even call to try to pull you away from the retirement system's healthcare plan. I don't agree with that one bit. So just be careful when you're talking to anyone if they're trying to get your business. Do you have a question or no?
I had a question though. On that, thought I saw someplace where it said it was not safe to carry your Medicare card on you, and I tend to always have it on me, but.
Oh no, I would put that away at home. I would never bring that out. The only time you really need to do that is when you're getting onto the Medicare Advantage plan. We just need a copy of it so we can get you enrolled. But you shouldn't need that card for anything. The Medicare Advantage through Anthem and CVS SilverScript should take care of all those services in place of that. Yes?
The 26 selection plan enrollment that's online, does that have to be filled out if there's no changes?
No. No, if
Okay.
there's no changes, it's a passive type of open enrollment.
Okay, and it asks for your Medicare number on that form. Are we supposed to put our Medicare number on that form?
So if you're already in our system and you've been on it and given us your card, you do not need to do that. Okay, as long as we know who you are, unless, other things have changed, like your contact information, you might want to, update that on that form. We have a separate update form as well, but yeah, you don't need to put your Medicare number on it if we already have it. Like the Social Security number, we don't need that whole number again.
So when my wife made it into Social Security, made it into Medicare, and we had to submit a copy of that card to Cincinnati Retirement, you've got that on file, so I don't need to stick it on that form this year.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, we should not ask for that again. It's already entered in our system and it stays there. Next slide, please. This is just something we like to tell everybody, whether they're already in retirement or approaching retirement. If you haven't discussed a durable power of attorney with anyone in your family or someone you trust, it might be the time to do so. We just been in unfortunate situations where some pensioners that become incapacitated and they don't have a power of attorney named, and then therefore we can't talk to anybody on their behalf. So this durable financial power of attorney, what it will do is it allows us to speak to someone on your behalf. So if you have someone that you trust and you can name them your agent, and then submit a copy of that power of attorney, we have that into our system, so if anything would ever happen to you where you couldn't speak for yourself, we could talk to that person. Yes? I'm sorry?
Is there a place, can we check online? I've looked online, I've submitted it. How do I know that you received the power of attorney? I was looking to see if it's on my online, but I can't find it there. Is there a way I can check?
Yeah, it should be. So his question was the power of attorney. Once you go forward with the power of attorney and you submit that form to us, it should appear on the pension advice, the monthly advice, whether you get that mailed or you see it through Member Direct, it should be there. It's on like the middle right-hand side. It should list that person's name there.
So excuse me, it should appear on that, right?
Correct.
That I have the power of attorney submitted already.
Correct.
Okay, I'll make sure that it's there.
Yes, and some folks get the springing kind, and that's not really a good one, because the springing, it requires your agent to produce a note from the physician that tells us that this person has now become incapacitated. So a non-springing durable financial power of attorney is what we need. And you can go to an attorney's office, or you can find them online. We've had folks find them online before, and they're perfectly acceptable. Just as long as it names one primary agent. We don't like the two agents that have to work, the co-agents that have to work together. It makes things more complicated. So if there's one, you can name successors to it and make it effective immediately. But we just do that for everybody's protection, because we're not allowed to talk. We don't want to talk to anybody else but you about your pension. Keep that private. Next slide, please. So wouldn't force anybody to do this, because if you do this, you don't get your monthly statement mailed to you. But if you're not aware of the Member Direct website, that's where you can sign in to see all of your information online. You can get your 1099-Rs there. You can see your monthly advices. You can see the beneficiaries. So if you're interested in that, but just understand that if you do sign up for that, it will stop the mailing of the monthly pension advice. And if you're interested in that, it's up there. And that's all I really had. If anyone has more questions, yes.
I just have one comment. We have a friend who works for a dentist, so don't be surprised if more and more of your dentists stop taking dental insurance and you just become a direct pay.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if more and more dentists just don't they drop out of all the insurances. It gives them more power. They say maybe to make the patient care better, but it's really about those fees. Yes.
Wait.
She's busy with the microphone.
I have a comment about Superior Dental also. When they sent me a list of dentists that were in network, it was way, way, way off. There were an indication of maybe per zip code, 20 to 30 dentists. And then you contact the dentists and they say, no, we're not in network, we don't take Superior. So you have to really be on top of it to figure it out. In fact, there's no way to figure it out, in my opinion, other than making individual calls to the individual dentists that they happen to list.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think the website, I think they do need to keep that more current. We talked about that on the phone.
We did.
I do think they need to keep that more current. So yeah, it's good to follow up with the dentist office. If you see one on there that you want to try, it doesn't hurt to call. I also let the representatives know at Superior Dental that some of those folks that they said were in network aren't. So I hope they listen to what I said and make some updates.
Yeah, for the list I saw, it'll take a long time for them to update it, but I hope they do. Thank you for following up.
Yeah, I just wanted to check, is the Kroger coaching program going to continue next year?
So yes, next year it's going to. We may have to put that contract out to bid at some point, so I can't guarantee it will be Kroger forever, but it will be around for 2026 for sure.
Because that program has saved a lot of money, particularly on my wife's insulin. You get it for nothing. Sometimes you got to check, but you're talking big bucks.
Oh no, I would never be on board with removing that unless we had something else that'd be in its place. That'd be just as good. I wouldn't want to settle for anything less. Oh, the Kroger coaching? For hypertension and diabetes. And also you get some nutritional coaching. You have to go to, so I don't have the information here, but we can post that too at some point. There's a phone number and an email that you can contact the Kroger coaches with, pharmacists, and then you can get enrolled in that program. And then it will give you $0 copays for any of those medications related to those ailments.
And is diabetes and hypertension?
Yes. No, those are the two. But they do the nutritional sessions too. Well, I'm glad everybody likes it. It was what the active side had for years. They switched to TriHealth, but we still have the Kroger coaching in place on our side.
I can verify the excellence of that program, but not all Krogers have a coaching program.
No, that's
so-
right. It changes.
And it changes. So highly recommend it. As of right now, I've saved over $3,000 on my medicines because of
awesome.
blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides. So big saving.
Yeah, the side on our side, we don't get the best feedback from the representatives there at Kroger, so I understand the frustration that my predecessor had during the COVID time especially. They kind of got better with communication to us. Now it seems like it's kind of dropped off again. I don't know if that guy got a promotion or what, but it was nice when they had somebody we could actually talk to and he would get back to us. But we're gonna try to.
Just have a few more questions before we.
I just have one general question. Are there any major changes or any changes to the Medicare program for 2026?
So the only changes are what the federal government, they're doing those negotiations with the Part D, the drugs. So every year they're going to negotiate. Those are the only changes, but those aren't, dictated, mandated by us. But you can follow that online. I don't know which 10 they're going to negotiate with now, but they already started that process. And the biggest change that happened this year was that $2,000 out of pocket for the Part D. That was the new limit. But there shouldn't be anything like noteworthy like that coming ahead other than those direct negotiations for those drug prices. Yeah, that's a good question because the YMCA apparently emailed out that they weren't going to.
You have to check your own program.
So yeah, they advertised the Anthem HMO
Right.
wasn't going to be a part of Silver Sneakers anymore, but the retirement system, you have a Medicare PPO. And it was, I don't know, maybe a little bit reckless on YMCA's part to just email that out because we received a handful of calls asking that same question. But no, we asked our reps that very day whether or not it was going to be discontinued, and it's not. Silver Sneakers is going to stay. I think that's another great program too. I would never want to see go.
Time for one more question, Brandon?
Hey, don't ever hesitate to call or email. I talked to some of you all out there, but yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Any final questions in general, non-medical? Because I'm certainly not.
Do you send out acknowledgements when people give you a donation for tax purposes?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Steve's been doing that.
We send out a thank you note.
When we-
Could be a month after you do it, but when you send them out.
Could be what?
Could be a month.
It could be a month or so, but yet we do send out notices saying that, yes, we appreciate your donation of X amount of dollars for CMERA, yeah. So you could use that for tax purposes if you want or whatever, but at least you know that we're thinking of you.
Are you going to be checking into doing email for the newsletters? I've done that with like 5 organizations and saved a lot of money. Almost everyone has email now.
Well, it's easy to do. I mean, we have the following. It's been debated back and forth. Yes, it would save money because you don't have to print it, you send it out, everyone gets it directly and so forth. The problem is we have, in CMERA, we consider all members who are part of the retirement system a member of CMERA. But we break that down into those who are what we call active, who pay dues, and those who are, I guess, I would say passive or inactive, who don't pay dues. Now, if you pay dues, you are entitled to the newsletter. You are entitled to, serve as an officer, and there's a couple other benefits and so forth. But yes, if we had, it could be if we had all the email addresses of all the active members, so that we can only target those individuals. Yes, it's possible. Yeah, it's something, as far as saving costs, can we do that? If we can, yes. But it's just that at this point, it would take, we would need help in order to go through our records and determine, okay, who's an active member, whose email do we have, and, you know, so we send those people the newsletter, those active members the newsletter. If we don't have an email, obviously we can try to request it, and that's why one of the reasons we have people update emails and information when they register. It can be done, but someone has to go through the listing and figure out how to do that and so forth. But yeah, it's possible, and I'm not saying we will never do it, and most likely in the future we will, but it might be in a year or two before we could get enough time to sit down and do something like that. Right now, we're just looking, but the biggest thing is that we need some people who help, because I don't spend all my day, hey, let's go through 4,000 names and see who we can, and so forth, and who's active and who's not. Don does one heck of a job. I mean, if I asked him, how many members have email addresses, if he's at home in front of his computer, he can give that answer to me in 2-3 seconds, something like that. 5 seconds, but it still takes time to sort them all out and so forth. But yeah, it's possible. Yes, that's it. Yeah, go ahead, Don.
Since I do the data, put the data, there are several issues. There's several issues related to email addresses. One is that as I'm entering contributions, people will submit changes in the data, and some of them are email addresses. So those are kind of volatile. I'm not sure why, but since the domains changed, maybe they changed internet providers, there's things like that happen. The other is that there's a lot of forms that I get with no email addresses at all. That could be that people don't want to submit an email address, or that they don't have a computer. So there are those kind of things. We also I haven't relied on the email addresses we've sent out. There was a project where they sent out emails, and then what got returned, I would mark that those are returned in the database. So we know back then what was returned. So there's just too many variables right now. But one suggestion would be, for those who have a computer and can get online, having a newsletter on the CMERA website is probably the best way to go, as opposed to sending out the emails or newsletters by email. So that's just a recommendation.
Yeah, no, that can be, posting on the website's fine, but then everyone has access to it, even those who don't pay the dues. So, but the other thing we could do is, those who are active members, we simply, at some point in time, maybe next year or the following year, say, hey, you want your newsletter in email, or do you want it mailed to you? And, let you guys decide how you want it, and we can go from there. And I'm sure some people will say email, and some people will say mail, and whatever, as long as you don't say both. Okay. We have a question?
Now that we're a nonprofit organization, is our classification something I can use as a charitable donation for my RMDs this year? I'm for the first time having to do that.
We are a tax-exempt organization. I would advise you to, whoever does your taxes, to verify that, but come to think of it, you probably can, because I know, I made, but it has to be a direct, my understanding, it has to be a direct from your, for your IRA to the organization. It has to be a direct. That should work, yes. 'Cause, I do something similar only, to my church. I make a contribution from my IRA to the church directly, and it becomes part of my minimum requirement. minimum withdrawal requirement. Yeah, but I get, just to verify, I'm not a tax expert, but other people have done it, I understand, so. All right, yes, Ann?
Just a quick point to verify that my understanding is correct. On the website, there's a reference to chat groups.
Yes.
And is that the same as the general email that we all feel free to contribute to and read if we're a member of CMERA?
We have one general email, or I refer to it as a chat room, yes, that's it. But it's not, we have about 300 people on that list.
And how many members do you have? We have?
Well, I mean, if you include everyone, including the inactive, you got 4,100.
Okay.
If you include the active, it's probably, maybe a third or so. So, I mean, not everyone is on that, but everyone can be on, any active member, anyone who's paid dues can be on there. So we can,
and you told me how to
anyone can be, I'm sorry, anyone can be on the chat room.
You told me how to sign in on that, and I did it. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to be sure that's what you mean on the website when you say chat group.
Chat room, yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
It used to be called something else, but it broke, the QT or something, but whatever, so. So when I send information out or something, or in chat room, it goes to about 250, 250, something like that. So. Okay, let's have one more question, and then these Kroger gift cards are just burning. We have one more question.
This is just real quick. Are all retirees part of this group? Because I really thought I would be the oldest one when I got here. I thought there'd be a lot of younger folks, and I don't see them, so I'm wondering if they realize that we even exist. And do we exist for them, or do they have the same needs that we do?
Once upon a time, before the dark days, I'm talking 15 years ago, when there was no changes to the pension or COLAs, we didn't have the CSA, so forth. When people retired, the city would provide us, at least once a year, with the names and addresses of all those who had retired during the past year. We could then contact them, send them a letter saying, hey, we're CMERA, we're an organization, we help people who are retired members. When the dark days approached, and that's when they started changing the pensions and the COLAs and all that stopped. They no longer supply us. So for the last roughly 10 to 15 years, we no longer get a list from the city of Cincinnati saying who has retired in the last year. So who do we write to? We don't know who to send the letters to. So now we are, and now if we ask them, it's not, the city now says that that's personal information, we can't provide that to you. They will provide us with a list of names of people who receive a retirement check. And recently, one of our members did go down and have to file a Freedom of Information Act form and formally request that list of names, which they did provide eventually. But all they do is provide the names. No contact information, no phone call, no address, no email, nothing. Just say, this person receives a retirement check. That's public information, and that's all they will give us. So we don't know who to get. And so for the last, 10, 15 years, people don't know. So we've been, we did put that, the city did put that information out on their newsletter this year. We got that far. Whether or not we will ever get those names and addresses of people who retire from the city, I don't know. We keep asking. We keep getting the same information that, that's personal information. They won't release it. So that's it's been a problem because. So anyway, all right. Get your raffle tickets out. You want me to draw?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't get a raffle ticket. Oop. We lost one? We'll put it back in, I don't, stir it up, okay. Okay, the first winning ticket, serial number 698175. $698,175. All right. Go check it, make sure. Yep. No, this can't be. No. You didn't shuffle these for 698,176. $698,176. Oops. Any takers? 698,176. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see you. All right. You want to go to the last slide? Okay. Just a reminder, our next meeting will be in May. We'll be here at the same place at 9 o'clock, so hope to see you then. Thank you all for being here today, and look forward to seeing you. Stay healthy, and take care.